Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. King it flake, yeah, yeah. In Vibe Nation, say oh yeah, yeah. Alright, I go to work. Yeah, let's go. Alright.
Open up your mind, dig deeper inside, then see what you find. It's a vibe, get myself aligned, won't waste any time, this can't be defined. It's a vibe, Vibe Nation. We LIP, it's Vibe Nation, yeah. We LIP, Vibe Nation. We LIP, Vibe Nation, yeah. We LIP, yeah. Earn your respect, make you a check. Hope you prepare for whatever is next. I gotta honor the code no matter what, so you know that I ain't breaking it yet. And I ain't breaking the sweat. I am so comfortable up in my
Let me teach you how to
everything
vibe.
like an elephant. Can't involve myself if it ain't intelligent. I feel it shining on me. Yeah, that's the sun that's giving me power. When you
Let me
enlighten,
teach you
give
how
me
to
a power.
vibe.
Giving out knowledge like water in showers. We let it rain, we trying to gain more of the light instead of the darkness. Put my ego in a hidden compartment.
Let me
In my
teach you
own
how to
section like an
vibe.
apartment. I gotta start this, taking my shot like a marksman. I'm painting the scene like an artist. They're looking at who with the farthest.
Let me
I back
teach
it
you
up,
how
that's
to
why I'm
vibe.
talking. The vibes are with me, that's often. I rarely do this for profit, and I'm only talking to bosses. Yeah. Open up your mind, dig deeper inside, then see what you find. It's a vibe, get myself aligned.
Let me teach you how to
Won't waste any
vibe.
time, this can't be defined. It's a vibe, Vibe Nation. We
Let me teach you how to
Vibe
vibe.
Nation, yeah. LIP, Vibe Nation. LIP, Vibe Nation.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
LIP, okay. Pushing the positive, negativity, I see the opposite. I was thinking the movement was obvious, but I see that y'all really acknowledge it. I'ma put the agenda until it's ready. I carry the weight even though it's heavy. I carry the torch only if you let me. I'm deep in your mind, I'm a mental edgy. Yeah, it's LIP, living in peace. Asking me where do I find my relief? Wondering where do I put my beliefs? Lately I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve. We tryna only
Walker, what it
influence
do?
the culture. Y'all influence the dead like a
Christian, let's
vulture.
go.
Y'all ain't good for the body like ulcers. Ain't no
KT2
secret,
to
we
go.
locking the vote up. That's 10 years
This
plus
is
in the
52
game.
in the
So when you
building.
talk about us, it ain't the same. And we don't get involved with the
Building, it
lanes.
is
And the
official.
lock real tight like chains.
Big
Hoes
deal.
already, and we got
Bring
back up about
him
that piece, but
on.
we will go and act up. Hoes
market.
already, and we got back up about that piece, but we will go act up. Open up your mind, dig deeper
Top
inside, then see what you find.
We not
It's a
five.
vibe, it's a vibe.
Titans on
Get
the way
myself
up.
aligned.
Mono.
Won't waste any time. This can't be defined.
Let's go.
It's a vibe, Vibe Nation. We LIP,
PJ,
Vibe
Lil
Nation,
D,
yeah.
Christian, Michael Webb, RL.
LIP,
Bad
Vibe
Take, T,
Nation.
KT2 to go.
LIP,
Block kick,
LIP,
112 plug in
Vibe
the city.
Nation, yeah.
Christian
LIP,
Nathaniel, what up?
yeah. Love is a vibe.
Are we here?
Go by the creed, that's what we live by. We got some seeds that we tryna grow, so for the kids we ain't letting it slide. We tryna ride for the squad till the tires fall off. Until they start asking the questions why they going so hard. We got a goal that we tryna meet. Eyes on the prize and I won't take defeat. I gotta focus, I'm just like a camera. I don't take my eyes off the things that I need. Living our life with a spiritual balance. Respect the
Let me
size of
teach
the
you
yin
how
and
to
the yang.
vibe.
I know the good gonna come with the bad. Even in failure, there's lessons to gain. We gotta switch up the way that we think. How we react is an obvious issue. When it's wartime, we don't make peace. It's like NFL, how them boys blitz you. Tryna put my people on a different way. Cause we lost and we don't know the way. Sometimes I really don't know what to say. Bet they gon' change even if not today. Y'all open up your mind. Dig deeper
live,
inside.
baby.
Then see what you find. It's a vibe. Get myself aligned.
Hey, look,
Won't
I don't
waste
even know
any
if I'm
time.
going to the big screen. I just want to leave this beauty up here. Man, I thought we was about to get finessed. Hope everybody having a blessed day. If you're watching from Facebook, like, share, comment, tap into the daily content. If you're watching on YouTube, 8 a.m. podcast go up every single morning. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, tap in. You got picture in picture. If you're watching from Twitch, Amazon Prime, free once a month. You can send a sub to the channel or use it on another content creator that you enjoy. If you're watching on Kick, no ads, picture in picture, up to 50 free emotes that you can use in the channel, as well as being picture in picture. Man, tap in with me, man. I thought we was getting finessed. I thought we was getting taken for a ride. I say every coach, the day before they supposed to come to Nashville, they get hired. I'm thinking,
Let me teach
please
you how to
don't let
vibe.
Robert Saleh get on the plane. Don't let him go to Arizona. He won't make it back. He'll stay in the NFC West. He'll never leave. We'll go call McDermott. McDermott will be like, who this? Hang up the phone, and then we stuck with Matt Nagy. That's not what we wanted. Mind you, all the coaches that's supposed to interview in the Titans got hired before they got here. Nobody's talking about Matt Nagy as the top of their coaching search. The Tennessee Titans,
Let me teach you
the
how
smoke
to
was coming
vibe.
out, and I said, man, just don't let us get taken for a ride again. Let Saleh use us to make Arizona pay him more, and then McDermott say, I can go to Pittsburgh, or I can go to the Ravens, Nashville. You know what I'm saying? I say, just don't let us get finesse and fleece. You know, like, and it happened. Here it is, defensive head coach. I'm interested to see who he brings in as his offensive coordinator. Now, this could be the deal. I don't know how this would work, but you know, Matt Nagy may be the OC. And if he's the OC, then I got it. I can ease up a little bit. But this sounds like Tennessee valued leadership, fire, and where's D'Angelo? Where's my
Let
boy
me teach you
Jazz
how to
Gaming?
vibe.
Where is Isho when we play Jacksonville next year? There will
Let me
be a
teach you
fist
how to
fight
vibe.
before, during, and after the game. My coach can whoop your coach's ass.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
That's what I'm talking about. AFC South getting spicy. AFC South getting spicy. Let me get through this, and then we're gonna get into the comments. We're gonna start taking some questions in a second.
Let me teach you how
Hey,
to
listen, if
vibe.
y'all don't, make sure y'all following my YouTube. All these shop talks are compressed and broke down. Throw it into the YouTube channel for y'all digestion, where you could go back and catch it if you missed the shop talk. The link to the merch is always there. Y'all want to go grab y'all some Vibe Nation official merch that is also there as well. But we here for the Tennessee Titans and this head coaching. Bro, I was about to go to sleep. I'm on here looking at stuff to upgrade the stream room. I was tired. It was a long day. And I see on my phone just started dear, because I was texting Becker, and I was like, man, I'm telling you now, I can show you the text message from Becker, because y'all know Becker is the resident Arizona Cardinal fan, and you can see we was going back and forth, and I told him at 4:54 p.m. early, I said he's not leaving Nashville, bro. Hang it up. And a few minutes ago, you see he texted me with some crying emojis and said he's not leaving Nashville. We're not getting stuck with Nate. Oh man. Yeah, don't let him get on the plane, man. Grab his ankles. Don't let him get out of here. Yes, they listen to the fans. He said, at least y'all didn't just pick a guy. Well, I mean, like, Jeff Hafley is a defensive-minded, up-and-coming coach. So I don't think they just picked a guy. I think the general manager is fond of Jeff Hafley. Is the reason why he decided to go there. Yeah, I'm on. We definitely waiting to see who the OC will be. I forgot about that low-key a reason why he signed. Oh, for sure. We've been waiting all day, and I'm just happy that my thought process was get the coach who they feel comfortable with, can bring in the best staff. I'm interested to see who on the staff he retains. Does Bone Fossil stay? Does Denard Wilson get an interview? And most importantly, now that we have a defensive-minded head coach, who the OC coming in will be. National championship, close game. I don't know why Carson Beck decided he's gonna throw in a double coverage. If I'm going to throw a jump ball in the game on the line, it's got to go to Tony. Tony got to get the ball. All right, let me hear y'all responses. What y'all think? I literally had this. That was yesterday's YouTube video. If y'all didn't see it, just so y'all can know that Shotbybuddha does have the crystal ball. That my entire live stream literally was about this coaching search getting down. And if you look, literally one day ago, my stream was me and Cam Ward, Robert Saleh hugging Mike McCoy. Mike McCoy probably whispered to him, "Hey man, when they hire you, bring me back, man. I'll be a good assistant for you, bro. You know I stay down." I mean, that was literally my my last YouTube upload. So make sure y'all tapping in on the YouTube side of things so y'all can stay tapped in with your boy. All right, back to the matter at hand. This is a celebration for everybody except for Becker. What if Mike McDaniel don't want to be the head coach and want to be an OC and comes to Tennessee? That would mean he didn't, like, there's a chance that like Cliff Kingsbury or Mike McDaniel don't get a head coaching job and end up being a very, very, very highly sought after OC. Could be, I don't know that, I haven't seen any paperwork saying Dabo got hired as OC. I could be wrong.
Let me teach you how to
I'm
vibe.
glad it was him and not Nagy, bro. Just got to get a good OC to pair with him. Oh, for sure. So like, they should do the contract where whoever we hire as OC, they need to get somebody that could be with Cam for 2 years. Because if they get somebody that could be with Cam for 2 years, that'll give him, you know, up until the last year his contract to fully develop with one mind. I mean, you had an OC in Miami last year in your ear. You had Brian Callahan in your ear.
Let me teach
you
you
had
how to
Bogart
vibe.
in your ear. You had 3 different people in your ear. And it's going to be a 4th person as soon as they get this staff together and start getting to work. I officially dislike Nashville. I knew when y'all moved this virtual meeting in-person interview was done. I mean, think about it, Becker. DeMarcado dropped the ball and it gave us our first win and set the stage. Y'all dropped the ball twice. Y'all have victory in y'all hands, right in y'all grasp, and y'all dropped the ball before y'all finished it into the end zone. And it happened again. Robert Saleh to Nashville, new head coach instead of going to Arizona. D4, what up? I think Cliff gets one. Though Mike lost the locker room. Do I like the hire? Yeah, I like the hire. Like my whole thought process the whole time has been get the guy with the best plan. And I didn't care if it was an offensive or defensive minded guy. I wanted somebody with some energy. I'm pretty sure by looking at Jeffrey Simmons' eyeballs on Twitter that the good thing about this is we have a lot of money in free agency. And if you have a head coach like Saleh, who's a defensive minded person, depending on who he pairs himself with as a DC, that could be something that could get some of the highly sought after defensive free agents to come to Nashville. Because you got to have the head coach to get the free agents, you know. So, you know, if you had an offensive minded guy, you'd be more inclined to get some free agent spins look your way, depending on who you hire. The same way it would be for defense, would be a selling point to get free agents to come. That Robert Saleh is DC, especially with him working with so many different moving parts this past year with his defense. No Bosa, no Hufanga, no Greenlaw, no Fred Warner, no Shavarius Ward. A lot of missing pieces off that defense, and that defense still overperformed this season. So it's gonna be very interesting. That just means that Mike Berganzi is who we thought he was. For a minute there, we was thinking that all of this was one big ploy, and we waited 16 weeks to get Matt Nagy as head coach, and I'm glad.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
I love Cliff, and you know why? He don't need to be a head coach. Wow. Hey, look, you couldn't find a more credible source than one of the greatest receivers in Texas Tech history in Lyle Leong to say, I don't think Cliff Kingsbury needs to be a head coach. I'm not gonna put that clip out. That would not be on the internet, but You know, if you had one of the greatest receivers to play for a school say, nah, don't do it, then I say don't do it. Look, I'm not one of these people that that's on the internet that hears a credible source of somebody who's a firsthand, who firsthand knows exactly what he's talking about. I won't sit there and argue. Although us Falcon fans did need a defensive mindset, I would have took him over Kevin Stefanski. I was not high on Stefanski like a lot of people was. I just didn't like. It is Cleveland, but I just didn't like. I just didn't like the energy. I like the Robert Saleh energy that Tennessee. I've been saying this since the beginning of this coaching search. The Tennessee Titans is a blue collar team. It is a small market. It is not fancy. It is not sexy. It's going to be at the bottom of TV markets. We're going to get the lowest amount of primetime games. We need to be this blue collar, bring your hard hat. It's going to be a tough physical game. We're going to play defense. We're going to hit you aggressively in between the white lines. We're going to run the football, play action, and make plays with a playmaking QB. And it seems to be that is the head coach, the leader of men type of head coach that they decided that they wanted. Because that's all that's ever worked. Jeff Fisher, Mike Vrabel, Malarkey, and now Robert Saleh has his chance to put his spin on the Tennessee Titans. He's going to get the best out of the player. He has high energy, and that's what we need. I feel like Brian Callahan was like the good face that they wanted, like the nice guy, but Tennessee Titans need some aggressiveness. He said, but all is to say, congratulations to Tennessee as someone who saw this man multiple times destroy us. Got a dog, give him a good OC with Cam. Y'all can be good. The 2026 Bears and the Patriots. I like the signing. National media will constantly remind us on how bad his record was, though. Man, T-Town Brown, man, I'm glad you said that.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Every time the Tennessee Titans get something, it's bad. When somebody else gets it, it's good. Like, they never revered Mike Vrabel when he was in Nashville, going to the AFC Championship, having the number 1 seed 2 years later. Like, they never revered Mike Vrabel when he was in Nashville. They just said it's a tough and gritty team. Now he's in New England. Like, it's the Corvette at the end of the parking lot that's not parked next to any other cars. It's the pretty girl at the end of the bar now with Mike Vrabel. As long as he was in Nashville, he would never be anything. He said, thanks, brother. You my guy. Oh, for sure. Man, I be having people on the internet that be arguing with me, and I be like, you need a profile picture. I need to see you dribble a basketball to the end of the street and come back. You know, I need to see you do 10 jumping jacks before I take the credibility of some of the stuff that some people say. In that case, we don't have to. He said, I appreciate Tennessee for taking Saleh out of the NFC West. Yeah, he was because just think if he still was DC on the 49ers and he get all his players back plus a draft, because they first round draft pick edge got hurt, Nick Bosa got hurt, Fred Warner go out. They had already moved a lot of defensive pieces, so like a guy like that. So I'm hoping a team like the Tennessee Titans, who had 17 different defensive backs play this season, we can get some of those free agents and go into the draft and load up and get some help for Big Jeff and get aggressive. Makes more sense now to get Breece Hall. I don't know about the Breece Hall. Like if y'all go back and check, I usually do like every couple weeks. I do like a draft and free agent board. When I looked at it, I mean, Tony Pollard is going to give you 1,000 yards. He's getting $9 million next year, but only $2 million is guaranteed. Tajay Spears on the last year of his contract, and they just drafted Khalil Mullins last year out of Michigan. You know, you got Julius Chestnut and Amarius Mims on practice squad. I personally would rather draft a late round back. You know, Bears got Kyle Monangai. Chiefs got Isaiah Pacheco. You see Woody Marks on the Texans. It's a lot of teams that can get late round value out of running backs. I just don't know about paying a premium for Breece Hall and then still having to eat a cut and send Tony. Hey, nobody's gonna trade for Pollard, you know. So it's like it's kind of a situation where like, how much better than Tony Pollard would Breece Hall be if you having to sign him and put money to him? Why not let Tony Pollard run on a contract year, Tajay Spears run on a contract year, have Khalil Mullins, and then take a late round back like Jamari Taylor out of Virginia. You get that guy in the 6th or 7th round. I really like Raleek Brown, but he wound up going into the portal and going to Texas. Henry out of UTSA. It's a couple of backs that'll be around in that 6th, 7th round that I think you could just throw in the rotation, because last year after the bye week, once the line jailed and they decided to run the football, they ran the football like at like a top 5, top 10 clip down the stretch. So to me, I just don't see the value in spending $8-10 million on Breece Hall when you're gonna have running backs running for their careers next year on your team. That, you know, let's say you drafted a late round back and you let Tony Pollard run hard into the trade deadline, and then dealt them to a team that needed a veteran running back. Then you have the end of Tajay, you have Khalil Mullins, and whoever else you get. I just don't think spending money on Breece Hall would be not at the top of my priorities. I'd be more willing to take a chance of saying like there's Kyle Pitts or Isaiah Likely you could pair with Gunnar Helm if you're not going to re-sign Chig. Chig had such a productive year that he's probably going to make $10 million this year. So, you know, when you get to $10 million for Chig, you got to say I'd give that money to Kyle Pitts or Isaiah Likely. Be a little bit bigger and more dynamic in that way, because Ken Ward needs people with catch radius. People want to dog on Saleh's future tenure in New York, but every year he was there, he had a top 5 defense. Man got saddled with Zach Wilson and passed his prime Rodgers with a crappy OC Hackett. I mean, I don't even buy into the Robert Saleh in New York had a good defense. His offense was what it was. But I mean, look at everybody else who left New York. Sam Darnold left New York. Geno Smith left New York. Aaron Rodgers left New York. Maybe it's the Jets and they
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Their owner is walking around like Joe Biden, getting lost and not knowing where he is. Rabbit, what up? Now Arizona needs to be on the full court press on Kubiak, McDermott, or one of the Rams coordinators. Now I ain't gonna lie, McDermott and Arizona sounds pretty solid. I ain't gonna lie to you. It'll be a change of pace from him being in New York to being on the West Coast. Big Jeff, you know how I'm feeling. How you feeling, Biggie Smalls? Relaxing in Benz. Listen, man, we feeling real good. We feeling better than the Cowboys right now, getting Robert Saleh. Ain't no Jacksonville Jaguar came in here because they know it's gonna be a fight when we play the Jags. Oh yeah, that's good. Hey, look, that might be. We didn't get no primetime games this year. Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans in primetime. I need to see the post-game handshake. Said let's all out the door today. Should have signed it. Now it's time to get McDermott. Ocho, man, you must ain't heard the news. It's the reason why we going live in the middle of the night. Robert Saleh is working the deal, my brother. This ain't just some picture. This ain't just some AI. This is Adam Schefter. This is Shefty. You feel me? This is Shefty. You feel me? I'll take McDermott and have him turn it around like he did Buffalo. Now y'all tell me, this is like a big topic that we've been on. 11 is on the board. A lot of people fired coaches that are at the top of people's coaching list. There's gonna be some guys like Brian Daboll who are NFL coach of the years who are gonna wind up being OCs or DCs. Do you think this is the shakeup that the NFL needed? Finally, somebody dethroned the Chiefs and now the whole NFL shakeup? Or is this just a situation of people panicking because Mike Vrabel goes to New England and is probably going to go to the Super Bowl year one. Ben Johnson made a run his first year. Sean Payton hasn't been on the Broncos long and has the Broncos with a number 1 seed. Mike McDonald goes to the Seahawks after Pete Carroll flips them, has a number 1 seed and is right up there. Is that it? Because LaFleur was fringe. He got the kiss of death. Got the contract extension. You get a contract extension as a coach. That's usually the kiss of death. So this is gonna be interesting. That like nobody is safe. If the 9-year, 20-year, 19-year coaches getting fired, then it's basically saying if you hire somebody and they spend the money in free agency and hit the draft, that you got a short window to win and make something happen. Thorpe Jr. tighten up. Jags out here hiding. How we feeling about Saleh? We feeling good. Like we just didn't want Robert Saleh to leave us at the altar and go to Arizona, and then we call McDermott and he hang up in our face and we be announcing Matt Nagy in the morning. I'm happy with Robert Saleh. I just want to see what staff that he puts together. It would have been an embarrassment. Let me go on record and say this, because y'all know Shotbybuddha is the most unbiased personality when it comes to the teams that I like and the teams that I support and the teams that I follow and make content about. If the Tennessee Titans we have demoted and taken away play calling responsibility from Brian Callahan and fired him after the Las Vegas game, only to wait 16 weeks knowing that we had a coach, knowing that Mike McCoy was not going to be the heir apparent behind Brian Callahan, that he wasn't going to get an opportunity to coach this team. There's no way you wait 16 weeks, get fleeced by everybody that you interview. You interview Jason Garrett, you interview Mike McCarthy. They lied about saying that they didn't. There's some Titans media beef about saying that they took a meeting with Mike McCarthy before this process all started, of this coaching carousel, and they flew out and had a meeting, unofficial meeting, that this was the first official interview. But I mean, come on, like he's out of coaching, and you've been knowing you're gonna need to coach for 16 weeks. At the end of the day, if we're interviewing people that's been out of football, and then the guys that say that they're interested in your job all take jobs the day before they come to see you, it's saying that, and it's other coaches that you had 18 different coaches in your coaching search, and you come up with striking out at everyone and ending up with Matt Nagy, a coach that nobody's reaching for. The Chiefs let him go to get Bieniemy as OC, which is saying that the Chiefs believe in Bieniemy way more than they do Nagy. And they homeboys. That could have been one of the worst coaching fires to fire him after demoting him, to wait 16 weeks, 4 months, and come up and strike out in the coaching search. That would have been awful. Thursday night football, Jags Titans. Oh, that'd have been crazy. Vrabel is an anomaly. I mean, is that a thing? Like when Vrabel takes a job, he's going to get to the conference championship game that same year. He did it in Tennessee, and now he's doing it in New England. Almost 1/3 of the teams are going to have a new head coach in 26. Picked a horrible time to need a new head coach. Here. Yeah, I definitely want to see who he picks as his offensive coordinator. That's definitely going to be important. Joe, Matt, appreciate the follow. He said your Panthers deserve more primetime games after we showed where we can hang and drop with anybody. Yep, they took that meeting back then. What's good, Joe? How the fam doing, bro? What record does Saleh need to have to keep his job? I mean, it's like Aaron Glenn last year had a horrible year. They're picking second, but I'm not really concerned about his record. Like, from a Tennessee Titans standpoint, Patriots won 4 games the year before and 4 games last year. This year, they're in the conference championship. Doesn't like the Titans went 3-14 back-to-back seasons. I don't need them to get in the Super Bowl next year. I need that the first week when we get to Denver, that we're not running screen passes on the 5-yard line where all 3 receivers are blocking. I don't need to see 17 different defensive backs play in the secondary next season. I don't need to see the Tennessee Titans not have quarterback sneak in their playbook until like week 9 and get stopped on so many 4th and shorts because they don't physically have quarterback sneak in the playbook. Let me teach you how to vibe. I don't need 40% of Cam Ward's passes to be behind the line of scrimmage. I need to see an aggressive team that is not have the most penalized offensive tackles in football. I need to see a team that physically matches up. That's what I want to see. Like, the record is gonna solve itself. I mean, the Chiefs is picking top 10 this year. Commanders was in the NFC Championship last year. They're picking top 5. You know, it's some teams. You know, the Ravens did not make the playoffs. You know, like it's like the Bengals haven't made the playoffs for 3 consecutive years, and Taylor kept his job while Harbaugh and Tomlin lost their job. So you just got to put that in perspective of saying, like, do we see a competitive football team that looks like an actual football team, or do we look like what Brian Callahan sent out there the last 2 years? You know, so, you know, Tennessee Titans, I'm not finna sit here and say we finna win 14 games next year and be in the conference championship. I'm saying I need to see a team that looks like they're well coached. I need to see a well coached, organized football team next year. That is it. Stability on offense, defense, special teams. Like, Bones Fossil from Colt Anderson was night and day. You went from the worst special team units in football. Like, do you not realize the first year when Colt Anderson was there with Brian Callahan, there was a statistic: the Tennessee Titans could kick the ball out of bounds and get an illegal procedure to start every kickoff, and they would have the same exact field position as how the special teams unit was performing. So, like, every team got the ball at the 40 on average when they played with Colt Anderson as special teams coach. Fast forward to Bones Fossil, year 1, you take a rookie to the Pro Bowl as a returner, and you know, you just have a better overall special teams unit. That's what we need to see with Robert Saleh. Is I don't need to see cornerbacks falling down or Jonathan Taylor having 300-yard all-purpose games. I need to see a team that is not highly penalized, that looks like they have an identity and know what they're doing on offense and defense. I don't need to go almost 2 years without a 100-yard rusher. You said Saleh kind of looked like Vrabel low key. Nah, Robert Saleh looked like Xerxes on 300. We good? How about yours? Everybody good, man. We just trying to make the best of every day. Communicate with one another, love one another in stack days. That's it. I wonder, are more offensive or defensive coaches winning Super Bowls? He said the Arabic Vrabel. To be honest, like, when you think about the Super Bowls, last year the Eagles was like a defensive minded football team. Now, they're talented on offense, but there's a defensive minded football team. Every other year is the Chiefs and the Patriots. You know, it's like those Chiefs and Patriots teams had, like, to me, they had top 10 defenses every year. People may have seen Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, but their offense is pedestrian with a superstar at quarterback that just know how to get people the ball. I would say that those teams' defenses perform well. Rams, you know, they had Matt Stafford, Super Bowl year, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, but we talking about arguably the greatest defensive player of all time, Aaron Donald, you know, and Jalen Ramsey and all the people that they had, Von Miller, they had goons on defense. So I think you need somebody that could do both. But if you do have a defensive minded head coach, you have to have a really good OC. Like McDaniel going back to New England with Mike Vrabel is like you got 2 head coaches on your team basically. Every time the Patriots win the Super Bowl. He said, does this mean Bane at 4? You know, I've been seeing a lot of Titan people that, and this is weird. There's Ruben Bain and Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Keldrick Falk, top edge rushers in this draft. There'll be Titan people that'll be like, Ruben Bain's got short arms. And I'm like, he's too short. And then I'm like, Dwight Freeney was 6'1", 260, and he's Dwight Freeney. Like either I can watch this guy game wreck every team in the playoffs and all season long, a guy that can play inside out, or you know, we're gonna say we're gonna reach for a wide receiver at 4, not named Jeremiah Smith next year. I mean, personally, if you go on my YouTube and look at my draft board, I got Ruben Bain at 4. If you don't like an edge in Ruben Bain or Arvell Reese, I say trade back and get some extra picks. Cause I don't see anybody else in that top 10 that jumps off the board that say I gotta have them. Said Titans need weapons to throw to and build chemistry with. True. And it's a lot of good receivers in this draft. And the Titans gonna have like $110-115 million in free agency to spend. I just don't know so much about, you know, having to really reach to get a pass catcher. Get Nick's Holtz out of there. Yeah, man, I don't want to see no more orbit motion handoff. I can't stand the Tennessee Titans fans begging to not get Nagy. They don't hire Nagy and everybody complaining. That's all I've heard since this announcement. I haven't heard anybody say that. Everybody did. I ain't connect. Like, I'm in a Tennessee Titans media Twitter group and we just be going back and forth all the time. I'm going to be honest. Everybody was out on Nagy. I would have understood if they was trying to reach and get McDermott. You know, only thing about that is like Harbaugh finessed you. Everybody finessed you. You get to the midnight hour, you call McDermott, he hang up in your face and Saleh signing in Arizona. And then you're stuck with Nagy because Jeff Hafley went to Miami today. So Matt Nagy will be better than Mike McCoy or Brian Callahan. But we've been looking for a coach for 16 weeks. I just cannot believe that if back in December they had a meeting with Mike McCarthy, they had 18 coaches on the board, and we've been knowing we need a head coach for 16 weeks. If we get finessed and leveraged by every person to interview with us, and we end up with Matt Nagy, so I'm happy with Saleh. I think it's a solid hire. I think if you would have said coming into the playoffs, who is the fiery, energetic coach that a lot of people was high on, it was Robert Saleh. So I think he's a pretty good fit for what Nashville is, which is a blue collar team. People got to stop thinking of Nashville and the Titans as like the Chiefs or, you know, the Cowboys or something. Like we're not that fancy team, bro. We the hard hat blue collar F-150 1500 Silverado. Like we're not the Porsche. We're not the Corvette. Do I think Robert Saleh keeps Snead? I think Snead is focused on his legal situation because, you know, he's been indicted for allegedly being the driver in a drive-by shooting. Honestly, his legal situation hangs way further than football, honestly. You know what I'm saying? It's not about if Saleh wants to keep him or not. It's more of Mike Bergonzi saying, I can cut him and I'll get my $8 million back if the legal situation keeps him away from football. Which, me being a human being, I hope that he's innocent and this is something that is fabricated and he's exonerated on all charges. You see what I'm saying? Like me as a person. Now, if he did do that, he gets what he gets because you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Like, there's no way I got a $76 million contract and I'm a former Super Bowl champion with the Chiefs, and I get myself caught up in something like that. I need the Cardinals on the take note of what Miss Amy did. She heard the fan base ready to revolt if Nagy was hired as head coach. If be Will Harris, Vance Joseph, he's already plummeting. The season ticket sales will be even worse. And then on top of that, before March, y'all will be trading Kyler Murray, and Fernando Mendoza will be in Las Vegas. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Hendricks was good. He said we better treat Saleh right. Sad to see him go, but I'm glad he gets an opportunity where he deserves it. Wonder where Mike McDaniel goes. It's interesting because you got Mike McDaniel and got Cliff Kingsbury, and they haven't been hired yet, and they are the offensive gurus that's out there, with Dabo being dangling around them. But I know mentally a lot of teams that haven't hired a coach yet have to be thinking about Kubiak on the Seahawks, that he'll probably be, highly sought after. What are the Bills gonna do? Will Joe Brady get a chance to interview in Buffalo and move up to head coach, or will Joe Brady be somebody's OC? Now that McDermott is out, it's all interesting. We've never seen this many head coaching jobs open, and I told y'all the thing that I keep my mind on is you're not just hiring a head coach. You're hiring a head coach, a OC, a DC, and a special teams coach. So for every person that's hired and for every person that's fired, there's 4 people. So, Brian Callahan is interviewing for OC. Denard Wilson is interviewing for DC. I haven't heard Bones Fossil being interviewing anywhere. I think Bones Fossil will stay in Nashville, but then you still need an OC in the DC. And some of these OCs that are free now are interviewing for jobs. And then, it could be like the Saints. The Saints waited last year, and Kellen Moore won the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and then took the head coaching job of the Saints. So it's like, it could be somebody waiting for one of these OCs or DCs that are still currently playing to get a head coaching position. So it's all interesting to see how it unfolds. But that's why I say, if you're the Titans and you do interview, if a person gives you a plan of, I want this guy, and this guy, nobody was planning for 40 some odd jobs to be open and need to be vacated to be filled. Some guys could have interviewed in some places, and the people that they was going to bring in are actually not even possible to get on staff. So, for them to hire Saleh, they had to know who he planned to have as OC, who he plans to have as DC. And it could be a situation where Bergonzi, the general manager, is saying, hey, I know you can't get this guy, but what about these options that I feel like we can bring in? Because maybe you're interviewing 18 people because 8 of them you want to be a position coach as an offensive or defensive coordinator, but you're just getting your interviews in to kind of see the direction that they want to go, to see what matches and don't match. Makes you wonder what they would have done if the 49ers won. Well, then again, if the 49ers had beat the Seahawks, then Kubiak is on the board. Kubiak's phone was going to be blowing up. I don't think he would have lasted 24 to 48 hours before he got a job if the Seahawks lost. Just glad he didn't go to Arizona. Would have been another Jet situation. Hopefully we can get a good DC to replace Saleh. Dabo to the Bills to make Josh Allen happy. Just hope as again. I can't what's with Wilkes. Oh man, what a night! What a night, y'all. I promise y'all, I was like, man, do I want to live stream and just chill? This is like the night before Christmas. I'm like, but what if we get, cause y'all know Harbaugh got announced at like 10 something at night. I was like, what if they release Robert Saleh didn't get on the plane to Arizona and is hired as head coach? Cause I'm on Titans Twitter like this, like, like just waiting to see. And then just as soon as I was about to make a decision, like my phone just started literally going, I was like, shopping 5. It's calling plays or the CEO type. But see, that's what Brian Callahan wasn't. He was calling plays for the first time, and he wasn't used to the CEO role. So hiring an offensive coordinator that didn't call plays in their last spot, I think it was too much. You know, not knowing that Alec Aomar's knee counts as 2 feet on that 30-yard catch early in the season, that would have changed the tide of that game. Not knowing the timeout situation before half, costing us a 10-point flip in the Broncos game to start the season. Not having quarterback sneak in the playbook the first 7-8 weeks of the season cost us. You know, like, it's certain things that not being able to manage the actual game, you know, getting a delay of game after calling the timeout on a kick before half and then missing the kick, you know, and giving up a kick the other way. Like, that happen, stuff like that just happened way too many times where, like, they would get turnovers, they would get penalties coming off of timeouts, and it was coaches' decisions, you know, like type of things where, like, you get in the press conference and you can't explain why you made certain decisions or why you didn't know certain NFL rules. Robert say you been waiting. I think all the Titan fans was kind of waiting nervously, like, man, did we get finessed again? Was he using us to drive up the price in Arizona? Does anybody really not want to be here? And then, you know, that doubt start creeping in, and then boom, there it is. Bro, I really was hitting. Bro, you don't know how many times I hit refresh. Saleh's gonna call plays on defense for sure, and he's gonna CEO. I truly believe he's learned from his Jets and being a coordinator for Shanahan. Definitely learned how to multitask while leading like a true leader. That's why I like when you get a new fresh coach in. I like being able to get coordinators who are former head coaches. You know, like, Vrabel don't have to worry about the offense at all because McDaniel has been a head coach. So, like, everything offensively he can pretty much relay. You know, it allows Vrabel to worry about down and distance and game planning. Can't wait to see Saleh fired up after a stop. Been hitting refresh on Facebook all night. And then too, I also want to see who he brings in as OC, what free agents decide that they want to play in Nashville because Saleh is there. What we do in the draft, now that we kind of have a direction of who will be the leader of this team. It's so many things now that, like, this was like, if y'all follow my season board, it was head coach, you know, sign and re-signing period, direction of the draft, which we had a really good draft this year. And then, you know, you got the June cuts and coming into the summertime of, you know, who they'll be able to go after and add to this roster. I did just hear Berganza was leaning towards Nagy and ownership didn't like that and ruled in Saleh's favor. I don't know how true that is. Teron Davenport put that out. Yeah, TD, shout out to TD, man. TD always had that solid info. That could be clickbait. If it came directly from TD, it's not clickbait. It's solid information. Now, they were meeting in that I did see that Amy Adams Strunk was in Nashville in these meetings, and she might have not been wrong. People dogged out Amy for the Brian Callahan fire, saying that she was making a rash decision, and then lo and behold, we all realized that was the best thing to do. Get to the bye week, and the Tennessee Titans competed like a different football team the second half of the season on all three phases. So with that being said, if she said, hey, if we gonna move Chad Brinker out and let Mike Berganzi run the show for head coach, we've been down this road before with Rand hiring the guy that's friendly and gets along with everybody. Maybe Amy Adams Strunk is the person that brought in Mike Vrabel at the time, and maybe she's saying, nah, I'm the owner and I'm a roll with this one. I don't want you to hire who you're comfortable with. I want to bring in some fresh energy, and it may actually work, because you can't get mad at her for not making decisions, and then when she makes decisions, you can't get frustrated at the decisions she make. I think it's a good decision if she overruled Nagy, that we waited 4 months to have a cast a wide net, and then Jason Garrett worked with Mike Berganza's brother, and you interview him for God knows other than reasons. Now see, when they took the meeting with Mike McCarthy back in December, that's who they should have been taking a meeting with, was Jason Garrett. He should have been the one with no official interview. You know, you bring in all these coaches that have been out of football, and then the ones that you do want, like, you're not even getting to interview them because they're taking a job before they get there. You know, it would be a bad look if you waited 16 weeks to hire Matt Nagy. So she might. I agree with Amy in this situation. We're going through exactly what y'all went through. 1 and 2 interviews with Halfley and Saleh. Both got jobs before it could happen. Man, I'm so excited for the future of the team though. I know Jeffrey Simmons and Cedric Gray and Amani Hooker, you know, some of the defensive guys are excited having a guy like Saleh. I just hope that Berganza can bring in the right free agents and hit on the draft class to where the Titans will be a fun team to watch again. Makes you wonder what he's thinking, honestly. But also, it's his first time, so it's like, that's why I even made a pod. I even made a pod about it, bro. I'll show y'all on my YouTube, like probably about a month ago. And I was saying that the mistake the Titans had been making in a situation with their head coaches was the GM and the head coach wasn't tied. So when the GM and the head coach isn't tied, by them finally allowing a pecking order by saying that Mike Berganza is going to spearhead the search for a head coach, was the first time we got some definitive answer on who's going to be calling the shot. So with that being said, we know Chad Brinker has Green Bay ties, and we know that Mike Berganza has ties to the Chiefs. So I was asking that question right there on that podcast a month ago. I was literally asking, yo, is this a situation where somebody's relationship with somebody they worked with before weighs heavy? And was Berganza saying, if I'm gonna be tied to the next head coach I hire and my job depends on it and I'm gonna get fired, I'll go with somebody I'm familiar with. So that's why I like, if Amy did in fact step in and say she was more leaning towards Robert Saleh, maybe that should have been a situation that happened last time with Rand Carthon hiring Brian Callahan, because everybody was so blinded by something that they was comfortable with that you didn't notice there's a head coach, and there's a head coach is his first time calling plays. There's a head coach who wasn't even calling plays as an OC on the last team he was in. He hired his dad as an O-line coach and run game coordinator, and his best friend as OC, who got skipped over by Bo Hardegree, the quarterback coach, to call plays when Brian Callahan got fired, which Holtz was his first time. And then you had Denard Wilson, who was a first time DC, and then Colt Anderson. So it's like, you can't, maybe somebody with a little bit more tenure should step in if you're seeing another mistake being made. I mean, the Chiefs didn't make the playoffs this year, and they didn't extend Nagy, even though his ties to Andy Reid. And then no sooner did they get rid of him and release him and not re-sign him, Eric Bieniemy is over there. So that was their plan all along, to let him walk. A person that a team doesn't even want to be a OC or call plays for them could not come here and be the first person, the biggest fish we have. Because is there any other team that's actually looking at Nagy for a head coach? It's not even a guarantee that the team is really looking for him to be an OC and actually call plays. this is a guy who couldn't make the offense work with Patrick Mahomes. So it's like, I don't know, bro. And then that's like one of the one teams that we did beat. So it definitely was not a good showing. He said some poor organization about to end up with Nagy and be miserable. You know what I'm saying? People is getting left at the altar. No emotions. What up? Just tag you in the Twitter post. McDaniel may be a very real possibility at OC. Brother, I'm going to sleep like a baby if there is a Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel marriage. He said, but Bergonzi should have known that, though. That's what makes me think. Does Bergonzi know what he's doing? Not saying I don't, but why you want to bring him in? But you also got to think, when they hired Bergonzi, they brought in Reggie. They had Chad Brinker. They basically hired like 3 GMs at once and then promoted Chad Brinker. So, with Burke Nahill being there, the Titans really have like 5 GMs. So it could have been like a boardroom decision type of thing of like, you have the strongest voice, you gonna actually put pen to paper, but we don't think that's necessarily a good idea. Because the Tennessee Titans is about to have a new stadium. So if I was Amy Adams Strunk and I'm gonna have a new stadium, I would put it in my GM's ear that we're gonna have a fiery coach. Our best player is Jeffrey Simmons. He's coming off the best season of his career, the best interior D lineman in football, and he's excited. That may be what she was thinking. And here's a coach that hates the Jaguars coach. Like, it immediately brings something that the Titans don't have, which is media fire and some respectability, because we lost our respectability with the fact that Mike Vrabel was let go, and now he's probably finna go to the Super Bowl. That AJ Brown was let go, and he went to 2 Super Bowls. That Derrick Henry was let go, and he's had a 1,900 yard season and a 1,500 yard season on the Baltimore Ravens. The respectability has went down, and I think Robert Saleh is a coach that can bring it back. Now, if you put McDaniel with him at OC, I'm really going to, I might pop a little bit.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Just a little bit. I'm humble, but I might pop a little bit if we have Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel with with Bone Fossil at special teams coordinator coming back. You see the Browns looking at Nagy. Can the Browns get any worse? Man, talk to me, Hendricks. McDermott would have got hired if he wanted to come to the Titans. I think the Titans called him and he didn't come. Saleh wants to be in Tennessee. That would have been tough because they interviewed Nagy and Saleh today, and then McDermott news came midday, and then that would have meant you would have had to be like on the couch with your wife, texting and sneaking to the bathroom to call your girlfriend. That would have been tough for them to, and then if you do that, and Robert Saleh feels like all the from like the early reports that Schefter reported, that if both sides got along so well on the interview between Saleh and the Titans, and then they slipped and called McDermott, and the news goes out that they called McDermott and McDermott hang up in their face, then Robert Saleh gets on the plane to Arizona and don't come back, and then you really are hiring Matt Nagy. But if you McDermott jumps to the top of the list of available coaches that, you know, if I'm Baltimore, I'm like, hey, like you went from Josh Allen to Lamar, bro. You're not missing. Because glad to Falcons hire Stefanski. That's the W coming. I will say I'm getting tired of being used as leverage. First, Sean Payton did it with Denver, and now Saleh with Tennessee. I mean, that happened to us like a couple of times before we just got to sign Marky Mark was the vibes. Hey, listen, then too, I got a public service announcement. I drop some crystal balls in the chat. I'm finna go to the big screen for this. Drop some crystal balls in the chat. We finna go to the big screen for this. Hey, listen. I've been working on myself for years as a content creator, being able to deal with trolls or engagement, me being an engagement type of person. I don't troll for engagement. I don't put out BS for engagement. I'm not a clickbait person. Today, I have a dude going crazy in my comments, arguing about the Denver Bronco YouTube podcast I put up. I literally titled it, Catch or Pick, is Josh Allen cursed Robert Saleh to Nashville, shop talk. Bro, there are people, it's some deranged fans out there that think I'm crazy because I said when the play happened, the coach should not have had to call a timeout to stop it, to review the play. That's something that in the regular season, we have seen spot fouls or targeting or just BS fouls in the regular season take 30 minutes in a broadcast for them to look at the play. This is the biggest play in the NFL season up until this point. I would put that play up there with the Saints no call pass interference that Sean Payton was on the bad side of against the Rams that could have took them to the Super Bowl with a Hall of Fame quarterback. That play, had it been in Buffalo, probably would have been ruled a catch, and they probably would have been sitting there for 30 minutes. I just thought it was weird that they just rolled past that play and they had to call a timeout. Now, roles reversed. If that would have been in Buffalo and they would have ruled that a catch, and Sean Payton would have had to call a timeout on the Broncos side to have them review it, that would have been bad for me. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm neither a Bronco fan or a Bills fan. I don't have a bone to pick with either team. I just thought that was weird that we see them take 30 minutes to review plays, and in that play, which was a bang bang play that people are up in arms about, which it doesn't matter to me either way. I don't have a dog in the fight. I just thought that from either side, if it would have been ruled a catch, Sean Payton should have not had to call a timeout to get a full explanation. And if the people in the booth are just as confused as we was about the consistency in which they go explain and stop to review things, it's just weird in the NFL. It just always seemed off. Now that McDermott had to call a timeout, the people saying that he knew what happened. No, he's saying take a look and come over and give me a real explanation of what happened, because I still feel like it's Bills fans that's gonna go the next 10 years saying it was a catch, and it's Broncos fans going the next 10 years saying that it was a pick. I don't care either way. I wish that both would have lost, but it's just crazy to see that, like, how people be so fanned up on their team that they can't like clearly see things that everybody else see. It's just funny to me. It's just funny. All right. Back to the Tennessee Titans and Robert Saleh. I want us to go interview the defensive line coach for Atlanta, passing game coordinator from the Eagles now. Their Saleh's gone. They're young and hungry. Seem like they know what they're doing. I'm going to hope for Brian Flores, but probably not though. Probably delusional. Sunday night, same thing happened to the Rams, but they got the good call. I mean, that's all I'm saying is, like, have y'all ever seen, like, just think about it. McDermott has been coaching the Bills for 9 years. They've been competitive all the time he's been there. For him to get fired basically on that call, I don't see how a person doesn't understand why he would want them to stop, review it, have a very long explanation without having to call a timeout. It's like some kind of crazy thing, like you can't understand what's going on. The same way that a missed extra point with a guy Mike Tomlin gone the week before had Luke made the field goal for the Ravens. Then in the same regard, Luke misses the field goal for the Ravens. Harbaugh is gone after 19 years. So he gets fired on a missed field goal. Tomlin would have got fired on a missed extra point. And then McDermott on a catch, no catch, pick, no pick, gets fired after 9 seasons in Buffalo. He just like, bro, like, why are people making it a big deal that these coaches are like, why wouldn't you want to call a timeout and have them give you a long explanation of this call will get me fired and a tenured, you know, like, you know, if you're at your job and if something happened that'll get you fired, you don't want a 30-second meeting with HR, right? You want to sit in there with HR for an hour and plead your case and appeal and keep your job. Like, I don't understand this logic of the people be such homers of their team that they can't literally say, like, objectively, if that happened to me, I would want the referees to come over as a group like they do during the regular season and explain the biggest play in my season. He said Josh Allen got McDermott fired. I don't really see it like that. I mean, I can understand if you got a playmaker at quarterback like a Mahomes, like a Mahomes, a Josh Allen, Lamar, they gonna make some crazy plays, and then they gonna make some plays where you like, damn, that's crazy. I mean, let's be fair. Cook led the league in rushing, and he fumbled in that game.
Let me teach you how
Do I think he fumbled the bag and cost them the game? No. Josh Allen had some weird turnovers in that game, but also you think about their receiver roster coming into the game. Josh Allen is gonna have to try to make some plays. If Brandon Cooks comes down with the ball, nobody's saying Josh Allen cost them the game. Now, on the other hand, I could say CJ Stroud cost the Houston Texans the game by like his stuff was just like, but he could have been out there just punting the ball back and the Texans defense would have won the game. Because like, I'm not just saying that I can't, like, I can be critical of Josh Allen and say like, if not now, when? There's no Burrow, no Lamar, no Patrick Mahomes, and you still didn't make it. But at the end of the day, if Brandon Cooks comes down with the ball, like, the Bills win. It's like getting outplayed by Bo Nix. I don't believe that. I put Josh Allen on the Broncos and put Bo Nix on the Bills. The Bills don't make the playoffs with Bo Nix at quarterback. Like, we had to stop getting out of like, I don't like this player, so I'm going to say something like that sounds knee jerk. There's nobody that you ain't got but a handful of teams in the league that wouldn't trade their QB for Josh Allen right now. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Josh Allen, like, without Josh Allen, the Bills ain't shit. And Josh Allen had to go try to make crazy plays for the Bills to win, because they don't have any receivers, bro. Like Khalil Shakir and who else was out there? Dumbass Keon Coleman dropped one in the end zone, wide open, hit him in the face mask. Like, bro, yeah, I mean, I talked about that last night, Becker. Like, people was talking about Caleb Williams' pick, but I'm like, DJ Moore just stopped running. He just basically fell down. You know, like, he just was not looking for the football. You're the number one target on the team. You're the 1,000-yard receiver the last several years. Like, he's trusting you to complete the play, and he stopped running. And if he would have kept running, the ball would have hit him in the teeth. He said Allen had like 2-3 turnovers. Okay, and Cook fumbled the ball too. So, like, y'all had to realize, like, this is the playoffs. If Tom Brady throw a pick in the first half, nobody cares. Like, do y'all remember the Chiefs Eagles last 2 Super Bowls where Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball but brought them back at the end, and then they gave up a crazy punt return and got a penalty and lost? Or in big games in the playoffs where Mahomes turned the ball over, or Travis Kelce or somebody, like, you're going to have turnovers, bro. There's not nobody just finna go throw for 5 like, look at the Patriots Texans game. Drake May was playing stupid as fuck too. He's throwing picks and fumbling the ball in the snow. Like, it happens, bro. But when the game is on the line, Josh Allen stepped up and made a play, and Brandon Cooks just didn't come down with the ball. So I'm not saying it's Cooks' fault. And I'm not just saying like, oh, Josh Allen had 5 interceptions and 102 yards passing. Like, it's not like that. With the game on the line, Josh Allen got it done. It just wasn't his time. It's destiny, bro. Like, sometimes you have to say it's destiny. It just don't work out. Sometimes it just don't work out. Sometimes you just lose. That's why I say it's better if you hear me say, if not now, when? Is Josh Allen just have that curse that he can't get it done? Buffalo has been like this since before Josh Allen. Jim Kelly went to 4 straight and didn't win. Sometimes it just happened, bro. Like, it just ain't in the cards for you. Here's something about Gus Bradley, but who knows at this point? Yo, Darian, that's been, hopefully where there's smoke, there's fire. Hopefully where there's smoke, there's fire. Hey, look, we're gonna be able to hit the jackpot if we got Saleh at DC at head coach and Mike McDaniel calling plays. We're gonna be able to hit the jackpot. Bones Fossil with special teams. Man, in this case, just bring my boy Denard back. Don't even let Denard Wilson leave. Denard Wilson can be DC right along Robert Saleh. Ain't even gotta go nowhere, cuz. They brought in Mike McDaniel at OC. See, the thing is, like, I was never one of those people that's like, yo, Lamar sucks because he can't get to the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not one of them people. I was also the same that's not gonna sit here and say, but Josh Allen sucks because he didn't win the Super Bowl. Okay, bro, like, it happens. It just wasn't in the cards. Like, sometimes gotta have that true understanding that sometimes it just ain't in the cards for you. Sometimes it just ain't your time. Like, think about Matt Stafford went a decade without even winning playoff games. Then he get to the Rams and he won a Super Bowl. Got stopped right at the edge against the Eagles last year. Got a chance to beat the Seahawks and go this year. Like, he solidified himself as a Hall of Famer later in his career. Sometimes it just happened. He said, we don't need Denard. No. What if Denard stay and Bones Fossil stay and they bring Mike McDaniel and Robert Saleh? We good. I agree. Who we taking that for? I'm torn between Bain and Tate. To be honest, I would take Bain. If you go check out my YouTube video, I got every couple weeks I do a breakdown on what I would draft because they update it, then what I would do in free agency. Whoop-de-whoop. Reason why I say I would take Arvell Reese or Ruben Bain if I stick and pick at 4 is because if Carnell Tate was Jeremiah Smith, I would have no problem with pulling the trigger at 4. Like, I wouldn't even blink. But if you're going to get Carnell Tate at 4, the amount of premium edges at pick 2 and down just ain't there. You probably trying to like get somebody in free agency and get some value. Like let's say you brought in Kayvon Thibodeau or somebody at edge to match up with our D-line and maybe Zion Young or Dennis Sutton. You get in the fourth or fifth round, you pick up one of them as edge. You're not really addressing the elephant in the room. I just don't think that there's a receiver worth taking 4. I don't think Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson is a top 5 receiver pick for the Titans. If we're gonna pick top 5, it's gotta be Jeremiah Love if we stick in picking. So my thing is, either you think Ruben Bain or Arvell Reese is the guy, with Dante Moore going back to school, Mendoza's 1 to the Raiders, 2 is the Jets, and then 3 3 is the cards. Then we pick. In my mind, if you're not sticking and picking edge at 4, just trade back. Try to get some more draft capital, because nobody convinced me that Carnell Tate is worth the 4. If you traded back and you gave me Denzel Boston and Zachariah Branch, or Chris Brosnan and Zachariah Branch, I'm giving you people that's probably going to exceed his talent wise, and it's going to fill more holes on the roster and give us more in that regard. You see what I'm saying? I'm just not sold on burning a 4 on Carnell Tate. We can swap Saleh for Denard. Y'all better draft Bane. He remind me of Myles Garrett. He don't have the size and that. Like, Myles Garrett is 6'6", 275 and can Euro step. Ruben Bain kind of remind me more of a Dwight Freeney, you know, just a twitchy dude that could play inside out. I just would like the fact of, if you look at the Titans defense, this is Femi, this is Big Jeff, this is T Sweat, and then Ruben Bain. You can start, like, those 4 guys, you can start moving them like a puzzle. You can start moving them guys like a puzzle around. The stunts would be crazy. Can you imagine, like, having T Sweat line up over the center and you slide, and Ruben Bain and Big Jeff run a 2-man game, and Femi just set a hard edge on the backside? Like, that's kind of crazy, bro. Like that's kind of spiced up. See, Arvell Reese would be more that stand-up project, because Arvell Reese is just like Femi. Titan fans hated that Femi was a project, a stand-up linebacker that moved to edge. It would be the same for Arvell Reese, is a stand-up linebacker that you're going to be moving to edge because of his athleticism. It's things that he's going to have to learn. He's going to have some holes in the run game, you know, until he figure it out. Which, if you think of long-term upside, cool, you know, but I wouldn't have a problem with Arvell Reese being the pick at 4. But I'm just saying, to me, Ruben Bain seemed like he fit more what the Titans do. That if you have Femi, T Sweat, Big Jeff, and Ruben Bain, you know, like, and then in free agency you picked up, like, let's say you brought back Jahad Ward, they give you Jahad Ward, Jalen Harrell, Truman Jones, and you know, if there's Boy Mafe, there's Jalen Phillips, there's Kayvon Thibodeau. It's a couple guys out there that if you was to bring and have a crazy rotation like that, bruh, on 3rd down, you take T Sweat off the field, you line up Jeffrey Simmons and Ruben Bain inside with Femi and Thibodeau or something like that, bro, you really screaming at the QB rushing 4. If you walk up Cedric Gray with Cody Barton and stand him in the A gap, like, stuff can get really excited. Then you have Kevin Winston that could come down and blitz. Like, the Titans can add more to what they could do. I think the Titans should draft offense and sign defense in free agency. That's the thing, though. The free agent have to want to come. Pause. And you got to see how many holes the Titans gonna have in their defense. It's gonna be kind of crazy to fill all those holes. And I could visually show y'all, if that's what y'all want, I could really show you why drafting offense, to me, if they say, you know what, we're gonna pick Jeremiah Love and that's gonna be the identity, I wouldn't mind that. But I'm gonna just say, if they draft offense, I would feel more comfortable if they did what the Browns did last year. Hear me out. Last year, Browns was at 2. Titans picked Cam Ward. They traded back with the Jags. Jags came up and took Travis Hunter. And then they took Mason Graham. They got the Jags first round pick. They got the Jags first round pick this year, plus they own. And then after they got Mason Graham and Schlesinger, they got Judkins, Harold Fanning, and Dylan Sampson as 3 pieces on offense to go along, and they wasted a pick on Dylan Gabriel. So imagine if they would have spent the Dylan Gabriel pick on another offensive top 100 pick weapon. That's more what the Titans, I would want them to do. If you had 4 and somebody has a premium and you wanted to draft in that sense, trade back, it's the Cowboys, it's the Browns, it's the Jets, and the Rams all have 2 first-round picks. Now, if somebody wants to get up there high because it's somebody that they really need and move up to 4, and you finna add in future picks and multiple picks in the top 100 and still keeping a first-round pick that's still around the top, then I'd say go that way. If that was if that's what you're gonna do. If you traded back and took somebody offense, I'm not really tripping. So let's say the Titans traded back to the bottom of the top 10, picked up multiple first round picks and a future pick, and then they pick Cardinal Tate. I'm not tripping. I just don't see sticking and picking offense at 4 without trading back. I just don't think it's in our best interest, because if I visually show y'all what the defense look like, you'd be like, yeah, all right, Buddha, I understand. He said Bain with Saleh. Jeffrey, yeah, that's better comp. Saleh going to terrify the AFC South. Thibodeau from the Giants. Yeah, because they got Brian Burns and they just drafted Abdul Carter. So Thibodeau is a free agent. They're not going to spend money on their like the type of money that Thibodeau finna get. Man, I already told you, y'all not touching him. He's coming to the Bay, man. Man, listen. Like, I'll show y'all. Like, if you go to my YouTube, you'll see the whole breakdown. And I'll probably do another one now that Robert Saleh is there. But I literally have this stuff. I literally have the stuff, the visuals, like, saved. All right, so this what I mean on defense. For one, when you draft in defense, I mean, you go in free agency, a player gotta want to come to your team, right? All right, so Arden Key is gone. You got a hole. L'Jarius Sneed got legal issues. Michael Robinson, Marcus Harris. These is the holes you gotta fill. Ollie Gay left the season in IR. Now Dorian Mousey has a contract next season, but it's like $800K. I'm not sure that he's mostly a special teamer. So, like, do you see these holes? I'm just hard pressed to think that, like, you can feel all this with free agency. You're gonna need the only cornerback, because, like, Michael Robinson sometimes is even listed as a safety. You know, like, so sometimes they even list him as a safety. And Marcus Harris was your starting nickel. Do you see this defensive backfield, how empty it is? Like, you can't feel all of that with free agency. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. Now, there's easier fixes to this that will alleviate that pressure. You know, so, like, you know, in my breakdown, all right, let's say you brought back your at a depth level, you brought back your best depth level corner, and let's say you brought back your best free agent interior lineman, Sebastian Joseph Day. And I know Hendricks don't like this, but let's say you was able, now you got Saleh, you was able to land Kayvon Thibodeau. You had Thibodeau, Femi coming back, the second round pick from this year, and then you had Jeffrey Simmons, T Sweat, and you had Joseph Day in your rotation. That would make a little bit pressure saying you maybe not going out to Bain or Reese, but you still gonna have to burn at least one top 100 pick on corner. And you're going to have to spend a lot in free agency to try to fill up these holes, which, if y'all seen, you know, my breakdown of how I had it set, I could go show y'all that. But, you know, when people think of just actually on offense, Calvin Ridley is probably going to be a June 1st cut. Mason Kinsey to the practice squad. Strep is there. You got AO and DK. Jackson Slater played right guard at the end of the season, so you got that. Chiga Conquo is gone. Offense just needs less help. So I'm saying if you burnt your 4th overall pick on Carnell Tate, there's no guarantee that he's a true number 1 for you. You still gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't fill it all. That's just one hole. And if you was to draft Jeremiah Love, you know, like, that's in a position where you actually have some depth at. Like, I just don't know that I wouldn't trade back later in the draft or something. But I mean, to me putting Ruben Bain right here and then doing that, and then, you know, adding in 2 corners in the draft and 2 in free agency, and then getting a free agent wide receiver, and then drafting in the 2nd round. I mean, there's Chris Bell, there's Chris Brazel, there's Denzel Boston, there's Jacoby Lane. There's a lot of people you could put into that outside slot and still pick up a Zachariah Branch or somebody like that in the top 100. Like, you really could double down if you want to do like they did last year. I think if you was to go Carnell Tate right here and you strike out in special teams on defense, you could leave Jeffrey Simmons out there hanging again. You know, like, that's just my thought. You know, you put you put Ruben Bain down there with Jeff Simmons. You don't have to have the best corner in the world back there. So you need to spend money on corners. Just don't touch Thibodeau. I mean, but then, you know, there's Tariq Woolen, there's Alontae Taylor, there's Deshaun Wright, who I like. It's some corners, but just like the coaching search, the first choice ain't gonna be Nashville. Because in the past, we spent a lot of money on guys that got injury history, guys that don't have a lot of motivation to continue helping build a team. You got to understand, like, Tyler Lockett and Quandre Diggs walked away from the team mid-season last year, like, asked to be let go. You know, there's not many people that just walk in like, hey, bro, like, just let me out the car. So that's kind of what you're looking at when you reach out trying to get everything in free agent. I say get some supplemental people in free agency. And I can show y'all my draft board that I had. Matter of fact, because I had just retweeted it. Okay. I had just retweeted it. See, this was what I did in free agency in the draft. I got Jamari Taylor late in the draft at running back out of Virginia. I added offensive lineman, Brazel, Zachariah Branch. Then on defense, Thibodeau, Deshaun Wright. Drafted Dalen Everett and Keontae Scott. Added Ruben Bain, Jacob Rodriguez, Xavier Nwanka. I can't say bro name, but I added some talent in around the board, and then you still got post June first cuts of people that people can't afford to add. Added tight end Marlon Klein out of Michigan. Like, I really think I addressed a lot of holes. So that was my mock draft right there. And then I still have money to extend Peter Skoronski early and Jeff Simmons to make him the highest paid interior lineman in football. Things like that. Like, those are the type of things that I would have done. And then, you got a left tackle for the future. You put Marlon Klein, a 6'6", 250-pound tight end with Gunnar Helm and DMR. You add in a running back for the future. Like, I think this would be a nasty wide receiver core. And then you probably bring Van Jefferson back as the sixth receiver, or Bryce Oliver, just to have, another guy out there that's capable. But, Chris Brazel, Elmana, Chimere Dike, Zachariah Branch, it'd it'll give Cam some young dogs to play with on offense, and then, you know, on defense, adding in Thibodeau, Ruben Bain, Jacob Rodriguez, another, you know, because this safety right here is like 6'3", and he really can run and play all over the field. He's like a 4.3 speed guy at safety. You know, Nashawn Wright, I know, like, he's not the big time money guy in Chicago, so he's a guy that will be a good fit in Nashville. Then, you know, you bring back Baker Jr. and then add in, you know, 2 rookie corners, and then you still got money. Like, this right here would lead the Titans with a good amount of money, and then have Robert Saleh coaching. I think, you know, you could be pretty solid with something like that. But hey, look, that's 90 minutes on the Shop Talk. Y'all tap in the morning, man. 8 a.m. on the YouTube. Please do me that solid. If y'all don't do nothing else, follow the YouTube. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'll be breaking the Shop Talk down into other parts and putting it out. Give me that like, give me that share, give me that comment. If you have any more questions that you feel you wanted to ask I didn't address on the live stream, drop them in the YouTube comments, and I will go back and make a whole entire video reel, a mailbag about that particular question. So if y'all miss them, make sure y'all do that, man. We this close to be partnered on YouTube. Then I'm gonna make a few changes, and then, like I said, my birthday is February 2nd. I was telling my wife today, I hope that I'm able to do this stream room makeover before as my birthday hit, and bring y'all along for the journey, man. It's been a long time coming for some changes. New head coach, new quarterback, new stadium. Oh my God. So hopefully wake up in the morning, we start hearing rumors about who they like to bring in as an OC in the DC. And we now have some directions of the Tennessee Titans. It is Robert Saleh. It is Jeffrey Simmons. It is one Cameron Ward. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. God first in the chat. Be blessed. Make the most out of every day. Communicate with your people in stack days. And we out.